Okay, so these are the buttonholes I've already done. And if you look, there's two slits or two notches, right? One here and one here, and I still have two buttonholes to do. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife, and I'm going to I'm going to cut this. I don't have a buttonhole chisel. I have seen them. I want one desperately, but I don't have one. So apparently there are various sizes, and I don't have any of them. So I've cut it, as you can see. I have fairly large buttons, so I try to make sure that my buttonhole is big enough. Sometimes I have to go back and make them a little bit bigger, but it's easier to make them a little bigger than it is to make them smaller, in my opinion. So I have these frayed bits here, so I just clip those and get them out of the way. And I like to use Gutermann 100% silk. I'm using a gold that is very close to the gold that I will be using for the buttonhole. And I will be using a pearled cotton for the buttonhole, just because that's what I find. I'll wax it really good when I do it. But okay, so to do the buttonhole, I start off with the part that's closest to me, and I kind of come out a little wide, but I lose my tail of my thread inside the fabric here. Now I do a whip stitch. This is the first part of the buttonhole, and I have found that this is an invaluable step. I find that I don't fight my buttonholes nearly as bad if I do a quick whip stitch all the way around the buttonholes to secure the fabric and to keep those fabric flyaway pieces from getting out of control. Having to hold my fabric up a little higher than I'm used to, so excuse me if this is a little messier. When you get to the tip, I like to do, I guess, 3 around the end. It just seems to keep everything from fraying really bad. I find that, especially in fabrics like this, that the fraying at the ends can be maddening when you go back to do your buttonhole stitch. So a really secure whip stitch around those ends is really important. Now, I'm doing my whip stitch from the inside out. I'm making sure I grab all layers of fabric. Because this particular garment would be for also a rapier fighter, it has an extra reinforcing layer on the inside for armoring. So I'm actually, it may be difficult to tell, but I'm actually fighting 4 layers of fabric here. I have my liner, then I have my armoring fabric, which is heavy duty tight weave linen. Then I have the doublet garment reinforcing layer that's actually stitched to the outside fabric, and the outside fabric is 100% cotton duck cloth. It's a very heavy cotton fabric. So it may be difficult to tell, but I am fighting several layers of fabric here, and so reinforcing the buttonhole with a whip stitch at the very beginning is key to having my buttonholes not be such a pain in the rear to do when I get to the cotton. So I ran my thread back through the weave here. I'm going to cut this. And as you can see, I have these little frayed bits of thread, and I just go in and cut these. They're not integral to the piece. If I had probably been a little bit more careful, I could have grabbed them in my stitching. So on the inside, you can see the whip stitch all the way around. I guess it's difficult to see because I used a similar color gold. I am very happy with that. I have one more buttonhole to go, and when I get ready for the next stage, I will video that. Thank you.